Today, Canada announced that it is going to lower its corporate tax rate to 16%. And the person in the audience wants to know if you all are aware of it, and how is it possible that Canada can have a more aggressive and growth and prosperity plan than we do here in the U.S. Michael, we'll start with you.
Let's start with that Canada does a better job with their national research than we do. They have quite a bit of oil and shales and all sorts of gold and wonderful materials there. They also have a higher individual tax rate. But I would go further to say that the income tax and the corporate taxes should be done away with completely. I think we have to get down to a consumption tax or a national sales tax to replace those taxes to which we're currently burdened. I think that taxes in America need to be voluntary. So you can choose how much taxes you pay based on what you consume and how much you spend. You could be a billionaire living in the Hawthorne neighborhood in North Minneapolis and spend no money on taxes at all. You can eat canned tuna every night and it shouldn't be a problem. But if you want to live that higher lifestyle, then through your spending, through your consumption, you would be paying a lot more in taxes. And I think that would be a far more fair situation than victimizing people who work and saying, okay, you work and therefore we're going to tax your production. We're going to create disincentives to work. So at this point, I would say that I really have been excited about my country's fair tax, and I still am.
Chris, and just so you all are aware, just so we can get more questions, we're going to move to 2-minute answers and 30-second rebuttal when it's appropriate to us. Chris, you have 2 minutes.
One, I don't concede that Canada does anything better than us. I simply believe that America is still the greatest nation in history and the greatest nation on the planet. With regard to Canada, Canada gets this. They want to be open for business. And unfortunately, we have an administration, and we have a fellow in office by the name of Keith Ellison, who would much rather score political points, much rather tap into people's fears to stay in power than to sit around and do the hard work it takes to grow this economy. From 1981 to 1986, Reagan did this. He decontrolled oil, removed the excess profit tax off the oil companies, and eliminated the wellhead tax. So with the great expansion of our economy under the Reagan years, the price of oil actually came down. Okay, and so what we can learn from that, and what we should take from that, is the government should do more to free business up. The government should do more to invite business, invite investment here. If we even look at our district, we have great companies in Minnesota, okay, and in our district. We got the Best Buy now, we got in the district, we got 3M up there in St. Paul. We have great companies here in Minnesota, but what are we doing to invite the next generation of great companies? Those are all homegrown companies. Where I want to focus my attention is on bringing more business back to Minnesota so that we can put people back to work. The greatest social program ever invented is a job. I firmly believe that.
Thank you, Chris. Lynn?
I believe the question was I aware that Canada is going to have a 60% tax rate and something along the lines of why can Canada do that?
Would you like me to restate the question?
Sure.
The question was, were you aware that Canada just cut their corporate tax rate to 16%? How is it possible that Canada can have a more aggressive growth and prosperity plan than we can?
I wasn't aware that Canada did that. Congratulations to Canada. I think it just shows that it can be done, and you know that we should follow suit. And that's all I have to say about that.
30 seconds, Michael.
Canada is a socialist country. Having worked at the Minneapolis Grain Exchange for many years, I've had dealings with the Canadian Wheat Board. They don't actually let people pay regular prices. There are price controls in Canada. They do have government health care in Canada. They do a lot of things in Canada that inhibit freedom. They've never been a free country. And when they lower the corporate rate, would look at other rates going up. They do have a budget surplus to our budget deficit. Because if you own land in Canada, or if you own resources in Canada, well, you've got a willing partner, the Canadian government. And, Her Majesty does exempt her fee.
Yeah, I'm not looking to become Canada. Margaret Thatcher said that the problem with socialism is you run out of other people's money. So, simply put, what we need to do here is grow our own pie, and we need to take a very aggressive stance and bring attract business to Minnesota and attract business from overseas back into the country.
Thank you, Chris. We're going to go back a little bit to a little bit of the discussion that we had on constitutional matters. We have collected the questions from the audience. Thank you all, audience, for putting these questions together. They're quite good questions. I wish we could get to all of them. We're going to try to get to as many of them as we can. One of the questions that was written is, do you think Congress should be able to balance a budget without a constitutional amendment? And I would add on to that, are you in favor or are you not in favor of a constitutional amendment that we must have a balanced budget? Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah, you know what, I think there's several states that have constitutional amendments to balance budget, and I'm not opposed to that, but I would say this much. Those states have all found ways and gimmicks and gadgets and schemes by which they don't have to balance their budget. That they sell bonds and all of this other stuff and create this phony money that's out there. You know, my experience in the Marines tells me this much. And Marines are very countercultural. We're a bunch of renegades, okay, when we go against the grain. If you write a law, there'll be some lawyer, some accountant, some lobbyist who has the skill and capacity to get around that law, okay? So I don't put as much stock into a balanced budget, but I wouldn't, again, be opposed to it. Okay, so Congress should live within its means. And we should have a scheme in place by which okay, one of the proposals, and they'll walk around town, guys give me all sorts of great ideas. And one of the guys that I talked to at John Brothers said, hey, you know what, let me tell you about this Congress. They should have a law that if they can't balance that budget, they're not allowed to run again. That's not too bad of an idea, right? And so put the pressure on those individuals to get it right. And I'm not saying that, that although that has to have merit, everything has to have merit in 2012 because the problem is so big. The problem is so big, we need all hands on deck to fix this, and we cannot afford to dismiss any good ideas.
Ben, do you think Congress should be able to balance the budget without amendment? And if not, are you in favor or are you opposed to adding a constitutional amendment to force them to balance the budget?
I think, of course, Congress should be able to balance the budget without a constitutional amendment. And I would not favor a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. You know, they've enacted debt ceilings and all sorts of things. And it also goes to the constituency. Each of us have to support our elected officials in making the hard decisions. And that means not everybody can have everything they want today. And we've got to cut spending. That's the bottom line. Our government probably takes in more money than any government on earth. And why do we not have enough? We should have more than enough. So the issue is that we need to cut spending, and I would not support a constitutional amendment.
Michael?
I haven't been a business person, and I can tell you there are times that you balance your budget, and there are times you have to go to the bank and borrow. There are times when we need to have the ability to have a budget deficit. Times when we are facing an external crisis. We just came out of 2 wars. Well, actually, we're still in Afghanistan, but there are times when we're going to have to run those deficits. I wouldn't tie the hands of our government by saying, no, you must always balance your budget, regardless of what the circumstances are within the country.
would you like 30
Yeah,
seconds?
I mean, again, I'm not saying, I'd have to look at the balanced budget amendment, and I think while I'm not necessarily opposed to it, I could support a very strong one, okay? And it does need to leave in there some provisions, okay, with respect to national security. But to blanket say, hey, I'm never gonna support that, I think that's irresponsible. I think you have to look at the legislation, I think you have to make sense. We have to have every idea on the table, and we need folks that are willing to work with everyone to make something happen for all of us.
Would you like 30 seconds to readdress that? Or?